Hello everyone, welcome back to our Aksum campaign. We've got a little event message here that I want to show you guys pretty quickly. The spice must flow. Oh, fuck. Did you guys ever watch the Dune movie? I don't know, I don't think it's very good, and it's a psychedelic trip, essentially. Or at least there's parts of it that are like that anyway. But this is what the reference is to, The Spice Must Flow, Part 1. Anyway, I kind of digressed there. Some say that variety is the spice of life, my lord, but I say that the spice of life is yet more spice. Many times I have made the treacherous journey to the east, bounded by the scorched desert and the barren sea, in search of the red sand that has made our kingdom wealthy. I don't know why I put on that accent. Anyway, there too I have seen wonders that would greatly interest your highness. Weapons so sharp that your eyes bleed at the sight, bows made of steel that spit arrows like thunder from the heavens, and mount swifter than a monsoon hurricane. Swifter than a monsoon hurricane? I don't know. Those other claims, maybe they're true, I'm not sure, but swifter than a monsoon hurricane, that's kind of where I draw the line at unrealistic claims. But our ships are too few and competition has emerged. If your mightiness in all his temperate wisdom would consider sending an expedition to seize just one rival spice port, I could promise soldiers and riches beyond your wildest imaginings. Who is this guy? Who is this? Just some fucking guy showed up on our doorstep. He's got an absolute hard-on for spice. I don't know, he must be a merchant lord of some kind. Anyway, a mission will soon be issued. If we capture a rival port, a rival spice port. I'm not sure where exactly the nearest port is. I think there's one up here in Oman. But I couldn't tell you. Anyway, some other stuff happened before I ended the turn off camera. First of all, I appointed my son Ibana as the Castellan, and I also appointed him as the governor of Ethiopia. Let's see, he is the Castellan, which gives him personal influence, reduces construction costs, but also raises public order, so in general it's a good office to have for a governor, and I assigned him as the governor because I wanted an edict, which we'll look at in a minute, because I didn't look at that last episode, but he also has a ability in that he has patron, which increases wealth from cultural buildings. Now, cultural buildings aren't the greatest. I don't think we have like any culture really, apart from possibly... No, I don't think we have any cultural buildings. But maybe we'll get some. One of these guys does have, I think it's Wedham, has Magnate, I should say, which increases wealth from industrial buildings, but that would mean we would, bypass Detonis, etc. And I really want my son to be really powerful. I want him to gain some influence so our control goes up. I believe, no, it would be our dominion. Yes, it would increase our dominion, which would be great. Speaking of influence, our faction leader, Eon Bisi Anaf, does not have a wife, but he does have 52 influence. So perhaps it is time that we seek a wife. There we go. He's going to seek a wife. Ibana does not have enough influence to do anything because he used his influence to secure that office. Now, Aksum actually has some interesting edicts as well. We've got an edict called Military Fervor, which increases army recruitment capacity, increases replenishment, but it also increases religious influence. +1 to state religion. So you kind of see +1 to state religion per region in the province. So that is interesting. We will get 2 state religion currently because we have 2 regions. Again, you kind of see that interesting dichotomy with state religion. I think there's another one that actually decreases. Yes, there's trade and industry, which increases commercial wealth and industrial wealth, but it decreases state religion. So it really seems like you're supposed to treat state religion as a resource that you're supposed to kind of play with. And we saw that again with the harems, I think they're actually like prostitution dens or whatever. I can't recall what they're called. Mass conscription, which reduces recruitment cost and increases recruitment capacity. We could have used that last turn, but alas, the edict has only been issued this turn. The last edict is Eastern Enlightenment, which increases research rate by 2%, civic development, that is, and also increases sanitation by 2. So that's a pretty good edict as well. And all of these actually seem pretty useful in their own situational ways, although I don't know about mass conscription. It kind of has a lot of overlap with military fervor, and I think with the state religion bonus, I personally would probably use military fervor over mass conscription any day. Unless, of course, I'm trying to reduce state religion, although I don't know why I would be doing that. In addition, we didn't really look at this either, or at least I didn't point it out. You can see the large amount of public order that we lose due to religious differences. I think it is actually like double. I seem to recall due to, or it's just increased. I don't know what it is, but as you can see, that religion seems to be pretty important in an Aksum campaign. Anyway, I also recruited a bunch of units, but I added another desert levy because I really want to have as big an army as I can have before we set sail for Udaman. So we've got 620 gold that we can play with, and I think that we can easily hire another 2 units. I don't know if maybe some bowmen or swordsmen. I definitely want another unit of swordsmen, I think, and maybe some bowmen just to finish it off. So let's, how much is that? 180 plus 80, that's 260, leaves us 400 gold. And we can get some more ships as well. What do we have currently? A galley, 2 galleys of infantry, light melee infantry, as well as medium melee infantry. Maybe some skirmishers. Actually, maybe an artillery ship would be pretty good. Because here's the thing, once we sail into the port with our ships, the ships will reinforce. So we could shell the shore a bit with an artillery ship and then land. So we recruited all of these units. That's the ship, and then the 4 units we got. In addition, we issued this military fervor edict, and apparently this guy is not pleased about it, and this guy's like, whatever the fuck, YOLO! And that's completely fine with me. In addition, the Garamantians have declared war on the Eastern Roman Empire. Who are the Garamantians? I believe they're over here. We don't actually have any information about them just yet. Oh shit, I didn't notice, but this region up here is actually desolate. So what we could do is sail up there and colonize that place. That means we wouldn't have to declare war to gain any more territory. But we will declare war eventually to gain the lands of Udaman. Oh yes, there we go. Omana is a spice port, and that is held by Mazun. I don't know who Mazun is, and we'll find out eventually. Anyway, we may as well end the turn because we're not doing anything else right now. Alright, we actually managed to achieve a marriage. At one point, I remember I played an Eastern Roman campaign, and I had the hardest time finding a wife. I think, like, literally it was like 4 turns. I had my emperor trying to find a freaking wife, and every turn he failed. Look at this. Eon actually managed to find a wife his own age. What is that about? I mean, if you're, like, the king of Ethiopia, wouldn't you, like, try to bang, like, a 20-year-old? I don't know. Maybe he's as noble as I think he is. I mean, look, I don't know. He just looks like the most noble man I've ever seen. Which I guess is kind of sad when you think about it, because there's probably like some war heroes or something that I've met. I rescind that. He is not the most noble man I've ever seen, but he is the most noble man in all of Axum. It's just that nose. I don't know. Anyway, he's managed to marry Lakia Delu, and she is wealthy. Oh man, Eon, my main man Eon, you're doing pretty good for yourself. And it's not even like a gold digger situation because they're of equal age. So she receives some personal influence 2 per turn and wealth 10% from all buildings. Husband when governing. Damn it. Unfortunately, Eon is not going to be governing until like maybe he's like 60 years old. And look at that, we can just divorce her like immediately. That would be great. We're not going to do that though. Okay, we can gather support, secure loyalty, assassinate. We don't need to do any of this. Everyone is pretty loyal. I think Datanus... No, he's happy. I was worried these guys would be upset because my son... You know, we got a bit of, like, nepotism going on. Some favoritism. Okay, we actually got a mission from our mysterious merchant. The spice must flow, part 1. Follow that sweet aroma to the east, my lord. Omana, Meshano, Harmosia should serve our purposes perfectly. If you can spare the men to seize one, my ships tug at their anchors in anticipation. Okay, calm down, man. Please calm down. Objectives. Control 2 or more spice resources. Turns remaining 100. We could literally sit around for like 90 turns on our asses not doing anything. Okay, this would unlock Oriental ports, but also unlock new units. Oh, shit. That's compelling. We've also developed centralized authority, so it means we need to pick a new research. We could research levied troops, which would allow us to increase or upgrade our spears, I suppose. We'll do that, may as well. We have satisfied one of our missions in that... Oh shit, we've actually completed this one as well. Military buildup, I'd forgotten about that. We now have 23 military units, which is taking a strain on our economy, actually. But you know what? I'm not worried about our economy to begin with, because I feel like eventually we'll be a huge trading superpower. So I think we can afford to do it for now. We've researched centralized authority. We need to trade. We need to be at war and capture Udaman, which we're about to do. And that's another thing. We need to do all of this within 5 years. So we could potentially just kick around in a duelist for a few turns, but there's no point really. We'd just be burning cash, I think, on upkeep. So what we may as well do is mount up. Can we recruit, like, way the hell out here? I would imagine so. Yes, we can. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll sail all the way over here, and we can recruit another artillery ship for how much? 265. That's that's really digging deep into the pockets, but again, I think we'll be okay. I don't know what Udaman has. It doesn't have any resources, actually. And the wealth is only 576, so it's not really going to be a good investment to capture Udaman. But once we do capture Zafar, which I imagine is this up here. Zafar, oh fuck. It just reminds me of Aladdin. Anyway. Oh my god, you know what? How ridiculous is Gilbert Gottfried as the fucking parrot in Aladdin? No, have you guys watched that recently? I remember I watched it like a couple months ago. And it just seems really absolutely ridiculous. My name's Aladdin! That's basically what he sounds like. Anyway, you know what? We're going to be sailing for Udaman within the next turn. So what we should do, I think, just to be nice to Himyar, is we may as well declare war on these guys. Look at this fucking mask. This guy is really badass as well. I'm afraid to meet him on the fields, but we may as well declare war on Himyar. I'm not too worried about their army because, as we can see, their strength ranking... Shut the hell up, please. Thank you. The strength ranking is 23, and we are at number 8 with a singular stack, so I would think that maybe they have like a half stack. I still worry, though, because the garrisons in some cities are pretty ridiculous. I don't think Udaman's going to be a bit of a too much of an issue, but I guess we'll find out once we declare war. There we are. We shall declare war on these assholes and sail and pretty much steal their lands next turn. Look at that. The Sassanids have declared war on the Eastern Romans. Immediately, we're like 2 or 3 turns in and these guys are already going to war, which is nice for us because that will divert attention away from us. Although I think initially we want to be friends with the Eastern Romans until I think we really consolidate most of Arabia. Even then we can start pushing into whatever kind of land you would call this. I think this is like Persia. We'll call this area Persia for now. We can push into there and we won't have to worry too much about the Sassanids because they'll be busy, I think. Not sure, we'll find out. We've built some public baths in Aksum. There we are. So sanitation is through the roof. And eventually we can... I think when we get the cash, we should upgrade our hunting lodges. That will give us more food, more wealth. Quite a bit of food, actually. And also furs. The drawback is -1 squalor. We're not worried about squalor at all, because we've got a huge amount of sanitation. In addition, once we get that new technology, we can build an infantry barracks, which would allow us to recruit elite Nubian archers. Holy shit. Elite Nubian archers already. We could also upgrade our harbor at some point. Now, this farm here, what is it? 70 food, 300 gold. Oh, I see. It's not dependent on fertility, though. That is really good for us. Because, for the most part, all of these other options are pretty shitty in the deserts because they're, the wealth and the food is tied to fertility, whereas these camel herds are not. You know what? I think we'll stick with the camel herds for now until maybe I can do some min-maxing off screen and really crunch some numbers, see if it'll be worth it. Right now, I don't feel like stalling to do the numbers. Anyway, we've recruited some units, we've declared war, and therefore, we can end our turn. Here we go. Motherfucker. Ibana isn't married yet, but he has hooked up with Haymanot. A member of your family has sired an illegitimate son. This may be awkward. You're telling me. Fucking immediately we've got an illegitimate son by the name of Dill. I mean, Dill isn't a great name to begin with, Ibana. You should really be ashamed of yourself. You're coming from your father's name is Eon Bisianaf. Your name is Ibana, also, I guess, Bisianaf. And then you've got Dill Bisianaf. Come on. What the fuck? If you're gonna have an illegitimate son, you gotta name him something like Odysseus. Okay, we've encountered the Sassanids, apparently. How have we done this, though, is my question. Have they captured... I don't really know how we've run into these guys. Who cares? Let's open diplomacy with them. Can we just double-click? How do we... No, we have to actually... Okay. Let us... Oh, my. Religious aversion, okay, because they're Zoroastrian. Can we get a non-aggression? No. How about a trade agreement? Huh? That would be fun. No. I don't want to talk to your major domo. Leave me out of any talks with your major domo. Can we, Man, there's not a whole lot we can do with the Sassanids right now. That's just okay. Man, their strength rank is pretty high up as well. Himyar has climbed 2 ranks in the past turn because we declared war, so they built some units, I suppose. The Gepids as well are at war with the Eastern Romans. The Gepids are like way the hell up here, so that's of no concern of ours at the moment. We've got a new ship, and there's a food shortage in Ethiopia. Some fucking how. Because it's winter, possibly. Let's see. We're 10 food down. Why is this happening? Food. What have I built that has reduced food? Okay, 20, 30, 30. Okay, that is actually... Oh. Maybe I didn't do the math very well on that one. Aksum is in a negative food situation. Adulis is going to have to pick up the slack eventually. How's our imported food going? 30 food from active trade routes. Should we not be at like 90 food? I don't really understand. We do have positive food, but it's not being distributed in Ethiopia, apparently. So we need to upgrade our farms somehow, or actually degrade our public baths. I don't know. We'll wait it out for a season. We'll see what happens, and then we can make our move. But for now, what we should do is sail into Yotaman. I didn't consider that they may have a fleet. Okay, they actually have... oh, shit. Their king is actually in Yotaman, and he's leading an army by the name of the Old Men of the Desert. I didn't really think about our army names. Should we keep our army names as is? The Children of the Sun, Seekers of the Shore, which is kind of a shitty name for a fleet, if I'm going to be honest. I mean, if you're a fleet, you should... I guess you do seek the shore, but you have other objectives. I mean... Right now, it's the Seekers of the capture of Yotaman, so I mean... Okay, so we've sailed into the ports of Yotaman, And there's 3 units of garrison, but also 1,300 men of Himyar. And they've actually got some pretty good units. Baltha warriors, Bath warriors, and then these Aksum, who I would assume these Baltha warriors, who are axemen, are some kind of elite unit. What we could do is encircle them a bit. We could do like a raiding attack. We could burn a bunch of their shit. And then... what? You know what? I think we should burn down their navy, their fleet. We could launch a bunch of artillery into the city itself, do a big amount of destruction, and then one day we can land on the shore and actually capture the city. You know what? I think that's what we'll do. We'll do a quick little raiding attack, because I don't actually have a whole lot of time left in this episode. And then at some point we will actually capture the city. But I'm concerned about this half stack they have.